When we declare that we want to hold a specific value or characteristic in ourselves, life hears that and says, all right, here are some opportunities for you to practice that. The other day I was rehearsing this talk in my room, and my mom noticed that I was struggling to memorize all of my material, so she left my room to get me something that she thought would help. And when she came back, she said, Jaya, I'm going to give this to you, but you need to promise me that you're not going to break this tape recorder. And I thought for a second, is this a joke? But when I realized she was serious, I said, this is a bit 80s, and smartphones exist. But this is a typical teenage response when her mom is only trying to help. And you must be thinking, what could this 17-year-old possibly teach me? Probably nothing new, to be honest with you, but through my life experience, I'd like to share an idea. And my idea is this: right now. When I said life hears you and says, all right, here are some opportunities for you to practice that, what does that mean? It means life is always going to throw those challenges at you. And a couple challenges I've faced recently are dealing with my own self-worth and keeping a present mindset. In just the last couple of months, I've lost my pet rabbit, a couple of friends, and my first love. What we think about becomes real. And I'd ask myself, what did I do wrong? What could I have done? When will this feeling ever go away? And I'd think about this a lot, over and over again. But it was okay. Throughout high school, I've made and lost a lot of friends, and with these losses came a little bit of heartbreak. I'm sure all of us have experienced something like this. Over a year ago, I lost one of my closest friends. There was too much conflict to make that one friendship healthy, and when I left it behind, I left our mutual friends behind too. I felt awful. I didn't want to do this, but I did. And I'm telling you this because for a while I wondered what my life would have been like with them still in it. I thought about all that I'd missed out on, all that I was going to keep missing out on. And one piece of advice people might give you when you feel this way would be to distract yourself. But if distracting yourself means to take your focus off of what's important, I don't want to do that. I want to bring my focus towards something else that's important to me. I'm an archer. Archery is 80% mental, so I can have all the technique in the world, but if my mind is not set on the center of my target, my arrows will not be either. But when I can really focus and lose myself in that activity, that bullseye comes easy. Now, focusing on the bullseye is a great way for me to reflect on my mindset, but not all of us are archers, and sometimes I'm just on the bus or in school or at home, and I can't just pick up my bow and start shooting at a target. So there are other tools we can use to align ourselves with, something like meditation, dance, art, music. Anything you can invest yourself in deeply enough to feel good. It can be really great to be present. It can feel amazing, but being present doesn't always mean feeling happy. So people might ask, well, why would I want to be present if it doesn't ensure my joy? Because the purpose of presence is not to be happy. If we were happy all the time, our other emotions would get a little jealous. And the purpose of presence is to create a healthy balance of all of our emotions. There's value to each part of us, and sometimes we need to sit in that uncomfortable feeling to get more comfortable with ourselves. And while it may have hurt to see how other people don't see you the way you want them to, it can be really hard to love yourself, but that's okay. So I want you guys to ask yourselves right now, and you're going to repeat after me, because I don't want anyone at home thinking that my live audience fell asleep. Ask yourselves, repeat after me, am I good enough? Now tell yourselves, yeah, I'm good enough.
Yes, I'm good enough.
Now, it's not about convincing me as a speaker or her or him or the cameramen around this room. It's about convincing yourself. Now, if people are saying things about you that make you feel awful, or if you're going through stuff in your life that makes you feel like you're not worth it, think about a $20 bill. This $20 bill has probably been sat on hundreds of times, has been dropped on the floor. People have torn it, have hauled it and wished, oh man, I wish this was more money. But no matter what it goes through, it's always going to be $20. So it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter what people say or think about you. Your value cannot change based upon any of these things, just like this $20 bill. When I was going through problems with my friends earlier on in high school, my mind was stuck in the past. I learned that when my focus jumped from past devastation to future worry, my stress and depression were heightened. But it is a waste of time to focus on what happens yesterday or tomorrow. It's a waste of time to think about what's going to happen in the future that doesn't exist, or to a past that no longer matters. What does matter is right now. I've rewritten this talk dozens of times, and every time I've practiced it out loud, it's felt wrong without telling you this. Just a few weeks ago, I fell to my knees in the middle of the school hallway, and I cried through my entire fourth period. And I was always afraid of letting people see my tears because I believe it to be a sign of weakness. But I did not cry because I was weak. I cried because I had been strong for so long, and I just activated the worst thing imaginable, and that's a time machine. When you activate your time machine, things happen where you think about the past or the future. I went back, and I thought about everything from my beautiful rabbit suddenly dying to my boyfriend breaking up with me, and then I went forward, and I could see myself having a miserable time at prom without a date or a group of friends to go with. I had a great time at prom, by the way. So it didn't really matter, but in that moment, I just needed to remind myself that while being present might be a little easier said than done sometimes, that doesn't make it impossible. So if there's one thing I can give to you guys to take away from my experience, it's that our focus becomes reality, and awareness is progress. So if you notice yourselves drifting from presence, it's okay to forgive yourself and begin again. Thank you.